So in this video we'll talk about pair production and pair annihilation and why pair production cannot occur in vacuum. So let's first talk about pair annihilation. So as we know, when a particle and an antiparticle come together, they annihilate and give out energy, usually in a form of gamma photon. So here our particle is an electron and our antiparticle is a positron, which will give us two gamma photons. So the rest mass energy of our electron is 0.51 MeV, and similarly of that of a positron is also 0.51 MeV. So in order to see the conservation of momentum, we can see from this diagram that when an electron and a positron comes together, they annihilate and give out two gamma photons in opposite direction. From this we can see that the initial momentum Pi was 0 for electron and positron were coming from opposite direction, and in order to conserve the momentum, the final momentum should also be 0, as we can see from this diagram that two gamma photons are released in opposite direction. As in, to see the conservation of energy, we know the rest mass energy can be written as m naught c square, but since we are dealing with photons here, relativity comes into play, and we know the relativistic energy is given as E equal to rest mass energy plus some kinetic energy. Since the rest mass energy of electron and positron both are same, we can say that E equal to 2 m naught c square plus the total kinetic energy of electron and positron. If they were both at rest, so the total kinetic energy becomes 0. Now this thing can be written as E equal to 2 gamma m naught c square, which is the total energy, where we have considered the relativistic mass, that is m equal to m naught upon 1 minus v square by c square, which can be written as gamma m naught. We use relativistic mass for particles that are in motion, which contains the increase in mass due to the kinetic energy. Now one interesting thing about pair annihilation is that it can occur in vacuum also, but same is not true for pair production, as we will see this in some time. Now let's talk about pair production. So for pair production to occur, the energy must be sufficiently large enough that it can produce a pair of particle and antiparticle, and if excess amount of energy remains, it will go in the form of the kinetic energy of electron and positron pair that has been created. So in order to explain the previous point that pair annihilation can occur in vacuum also without breaking any conservation law, but same is not true for pair production. So we will try to prove this phenomenon. Now let us assume that pair production is occurring in vacuum. So we can see that a gamma photon with sufficiently large energy, more than 1.02 MeV, can produce a pair of electron and a positron. From conservation of energy, we can see that the energy of gamma photon, which is h nu, must be equal to twice the relativistic energy of electron and positron pair, which from the pair annihilation part we know comes out to be 2 gamma m naught c square. Now from the conservation of momentum, we know the momentum of the gamma photon can be written as E equal to Pc, which implies P equal to E by C, which will be h nu by c. Now we can see that the gamma photon had momentum only in x direction. So the electron and positron pair must be produced in an angle which are same, such that the vertical component of the momentum, that is p sine theta and p sine theta of electron and positron cancels out, so that the momentum in y direction is 0, and the net momentum will only be in x direction, which would be 2p cos theta. So this 2p cos theta must be equal to h nu by c. Now we know momentum is given as p equal to mv, and relativistic mass can be written as m equal to gamma m naught. So p can be written as gamma m naught v. So here h nu by c will be equal to 2 gamma m naught v cos theta, which could be further simplified as h nu equal to 2 gamma m naught c square v by c cos theta. Now here is an interesting thing. We know that c will be always greater than the velocity, and cos theta is always lesser or equal to 1, which gives us that this whole term must be lesser than 1. From this analysis, we can say that h nu must always be lesser than 2 gamma m naught c square, which creates a contradiction to our previous equation h nu equal to 2 gamma m naught c square. So our assumption that a pair production that has occurred in vacuum does not conserve our momentum. Now suppose that there is a nearby nucleus around it. So what will the nucleus do is, this nucleus will absorb some of the initial recoil of the light photon, that is the gamma photon, and conserve the momentum. That is, we knew that h nu equal to 2 gamma m naught c square v by c cos theta. But since there is a recoil in the opposite direction absorbed by the nucleus, there is an additional momentum term p dash c which conserves the total momentum of the system. Hence we can say that this type of process can only occur if there is a physical object like a nucleus present which can absorb some of the initial recoil of the photon. So thank you for watching.